Kalam Learning Lab YouTube channel. So let's get into the video. You can check out our previous video as well as our upcoming videos in our graphic design playlist. And if you are new to our channel, then please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. In this video, we will learn everything about smart objects. Now, smart object is very similar to our regular images, but the only difference is that the root of these images comes from either a vector illustrator, like one from Adobe Illustrator, or these are the vector assets which can be editable even in a future state. So without any delay, let's get into this video. In the screen right now, you might be seeing four layers of assets over here. The first one is our image, which we are going to convert as a smart object. The next one over here is a kind of a advertisement poster that I have pre-created, and note that everything over here is fake, including the name, the logo of the florist and everything. And the next is the logo. Of course, this is the logo that I created earlier just to use this as a reference and example for this image. And yeah, this is the flower image that is in the poster. So what is important over here is two main layers. The first one is the poster and this asset over here. So the main idea behind this tutorial is to combine these two images, that is the smart object image over here, not its smart object, but we will make a smart object out of it. So this layer over here and the poster over here. So I'm going to combine this layer with our advertising poster, and we are going to convert this into a smart object. And remember, even though we convert any image as a smart object, there won't be much of a difference. A smart object just impacts the image by just 10%. That's it. So let's begin with our video. Very first, what I'm going to do is just come over to this layer and the same technique, guys. Just drag it all over to this image. And right now we can see that it's, as we have dragged this, it has become a giant flower or something. Just use the scale tool and reduce the size. I did this I did that by pressing Ctrl+T, or you can press Command+T if you're using Mac, which will take you to the scale down option. And here we go. Just for the tutorial, I am just using a random image. So yeah, this is fine for me. Now, you will notice that the image we have over here is now in a good pixel, good resolution, in a good DPI. But using my scale tool, I will make it bigger and bigger. And you can see the difference over here. Right now, in the edges, when you zoom in a lot, you will see that the flower petals are not as clear as it was when it was compressed form. So what we are going to do is we are going to convert this into a smart object. And now it's time to talk about the smart object in detail. So basically what a smart object does is, for example, before making any changes to your image, suppose your image is in a good resolution of 300, but you want to maintain that resolution as it is, and you wish that even if I transform this image by applying any scale effect or warp effect, even on transforming the image, when you wish the image should have the same image size and same image resolution, then you can definitely use smart object. So basically smart object retains the quality of the image at the time when you apply that effect. Whatever the resolution and quality of the image is, when you apply a smart object to the image, it will be retained throughout whatever the changes you make in future, no matter how much ever you transform, how much ever you apply warp effect to it, and if you scale up, scale down, no matter whatever changes you make to the image, the size and resolution of the image remains unchanged. That is the speciality of smart object, I would say. And one more thing is, when you convert an object into a smart object, you can anytime change the image in layer where you created the image. For example, I have created an image in Adobe Illustrator and I took that to Photoshop and I applied smart object, and now I want to make some changes in my image. Like I'm not satisfied with some effect or something and I want to make a change in my image. So at the time, what can I do is, after applying the smart object, I can click on the smart object logo anytime and it will take me to my root from where I created the base design. So that is one such best feature of using a smart image. So now the thing is about where to find the smart image in your layers palette. So come to the layers palette over here and quickly I'll rename this layer which we imported now as flower. Here we are. It's now renamed, and what you have to do is, when applying a smart object, make sure that you have selected the layer for which you want to apply the effect. By doing so, just right click on the layer using your mouse and a menu will pop up. Just come down all the way to the bottom and you will see an option over here which says convert to smart object. Now, clicking on it will instantly apply the smart object effect, and you will not see any change right now, guys. As I said, it's only about creating a 10% of impact on your image. Just click on it and here we are. You can't find any change right now, as I said, but in the layers palette, the only change that we can see now is that there is a icon which is created over here below the box of your layer. So this icon represents that it is a smart object now. It is a smart object thumbnail icon. So coming over to the image of ours again, as I said to you before, I'm gonna zoom this image now using my scale tool, and let's. So now as you can see that I have zoomed the image in. Now before applying the smart object effect, there was a bit more of a grain and a blurry effect in the petals, though it might not be directly visible for you right now, but try this to any image and you will see the results. And remember, as I said you, it is just a 10% enhancement to your image, guys. It is just a way, that's it. Usually without smart object, the alternative way that people use is just coming over here to the filter, sharpening your image, like sharpening edges, sharpening more, unsharpen mask, and using filter effects. You can generally do that, but this is one such best way. And as I said you, if you just come over here to the layers palette and double click on this icon, you can see this right now. It has taken me to the root of my design. That is, here is where my design originated, and Photoshop knew it well. So it automatically took you to the design structure over here, and you can make any number of changes over here which will directly change your image. Not only Photoshop, guys, but even if you had created a design in Adobe Illustrator and if you had imported the image earlier, then on clicking on the smart object, you will be redirected to your Adobe Illustrator workboard, which I think is the name itself suggests. It is a smart feature of Photoshop. In this video, we will be looking all about using warp and distortion perspective features for your image. So, in the very first part of this tutorials, we just saw about scaling feature in the transform tool, and till now we are using the same as well in each and every concept. But as I said you back then, while we get advanced to each and every concepts, I will let you know about all the new concepts. This had a glance of warp, perspective, and distort, but we did not go into it into detail. So this is the time. Let's get into it. Right now, what you are seeing in the screen is an image of a coffee cup and mobile and a blank brochure and a visiting card all placed in a wooden table. Along with it, the another layer is the logo that I created earlier, as well as the same logo that we used in our previous concept for the poster. So this is it. This is the logo layer. So now in this video, we are gonna use all the transformation tools, including the scale, warp, distort, perspective, and many more. To start with it, make sure that you have the logo layer over here selected, which we are gonna use these tools. So make sure that you have selected them in the layers palette over here and come to the top of the menu and you will find an option which says edit. Click on it and the pop-up menu drops down, and here come all the way down and you will find an option which says transform. As you have placed your cursor on it, again a menu just sub menu just popped up, and here you find a number of options which is scale, rotate, skew, distort, perspective, and warp. So rotate 180 degrees, 90 degrees, these are all again the same thing under what a rotate feature is. So we already knew about scale option till now over here. So skew is something which makes sure that only your both left and right edges of your image are selected, and whenever you make some adjustment you will find it to be moving in only the left or right axis, right? Like what I'm doing right now here. As I'm adjusting this, you can see that it is only impacting the side or the side of the layers. That's what a skew effect is. However, you have some options over here to the top menu where you will find three buttons saying block, confirm, and along with that here you will find an option. Clicking on it will enable you to move the image as per your free form. That is, right now I am moving this image, but I am moving this at a free motion, you can see. So that is what this button over here does. It enables you to move inside the box to your free transform mode. Now we are again in the wrap mode. So this is what the skew does. Skew, what basically it does is it just focuses on your edge axis. So instead of moving all the axis, that is instead of scaling everywhere, it keeps your mid axis locked and it makes sure that you move only your left axis or the right axis. The next effect over here is just come down to the transform option again and you will see an option which says distort. Now what distort basically does is it is more similar to your skew effect, but as I keep on reducing it now from the top right, you will notice that the image is becoming more like a disk. That is, it is changing its axis, as you can notice that. Distort basically rotates your image in, again I can say that, in a free transform motion or like a disk, which will be very easier to explain as well as understand. So that is the feature of a distort. Again, in the edit column, the next option is perspective. Generally I don't prefer using perspective, as well as I don't ask you to use perspective as well, because you will understand when I change, that is increase or decrease the grid lines. So right now, and you can see the difference when I just, so as I'm decreasing it, you can just see the difference over here. It is not that very great. These, the reason behind why we are learning this features right now in this part of our course is that whenever you create a design, or whenever you feel like you have to arrange a logo in your design, this plays a very important role because, for example, suppose I have this kind of a same coffee cup over here, and let's assume that we have a front view of this coffee cup instead of a top view, and the front view needs to have a logo, that is we have to fit a logo in it. So in such cases, when we have to fit a logo in it, we have to fit it according to the, what to say, like dimensions of the coffee cup. So at the time, these tools come into essential play. Using warp tool or using skew and distortion tool like this, you can organize and arrange your asset to whatever the image you're placing the asset in. So that's simple as that. So these come into play when you are into creating something and when you are arranging one asset with another. So that's it. Is so the next one over here is the warp. So I would call this warp as the most famous as well as the most effective tool amongst all these. Not even scale for that matter, but warp, to organize it in a, what to say, like in a 3D or in a graphical way, warp is the best tool ever. Because now, as we have selected the warp tool, you will find out that instead of 4 edges, we have got a 12 edges now. So which means that you get extra points or extra access for editing it. So now I will just randomly select any of the layer, for example this top left over here, and as we bring it in, you will observe the changes over here. So warp is nothing but basically it is like creating a, giving a paper or a 3D paper effect to this or whatever the image you have. So now as we did this, you can find that the image has now become like a more of a papery 3D structure. So that is what a warp effect does. Warp, as the word itself suggests, it basically wraps your image or warps your image to any desired 3D effect that you like or wish to. So that is the feature of a warp effect. So you will find these options by either clicking on your layers palette and coming over here to the top in the edit menu and in the transform, or the best alternative is, or just by selecting your layer in the layers palette and selecting on your image whichever you want to give a effect on, and just press Ctrl plus T, and on doing so you will get a box over here as usual, like what we used to do for scale effect. And coming inside the box area, just right click with your mouse, and there we are. By doing this, you will see the option being projected down here instead of going all the way to the edit column to the top, clicking on it, clicking on the transform tool. That's like again a huge process, and when it can be simply done by this way. So just select, right click, and there you are.